My perception of safety has drastically changed since I started working here. I used to do landscape and construction before I got into this, and some of the companies that I worked for, safety was just not a priority. It was so focused on getting the task at hand done. And with this company in particular, it's been nice to know that my supervisors and some of the higher ups really do care about your safety. I try to promote safety by just being a power of example, by doing the next safe thing. The most interesting thing that I've seen.
ECI is definitely more serious about safety. And I definitely like that I get the bingo emails, the safety reminders every day. That definitely, again, reinforces the fact that I have a team behind me. So my favorite customer win story would probably be this past Thursday. I was out checking out a few trees near some lines in a customer's yard, and they came out and seemed a little concerned. They thought there might be something wrong, which is why I was there, but I was really just assessing the situation and ensuring there might not be any risks. I explained that to them, talked to them for a few minutes, and they seemed to leave happy. Based on the safety culture, the general culture, my impression is that ECI is giving us opportunities to continue learning, to continue growing. We get to be outside every day, which is just awesome. We've got an ongoing project that started last week, and I do have a concerned customer, and I've been following up with him. We'll be putting in a new pole in his yard, and he's concerned about the trees nearby, and maybe if we're going to replant, and what would be pruned and not pruned. And so I've been staying in contact with this customer, and hopefully when the project is finished and we've communicated more, he'll be a happy customer.
Another part of our job that's asked of us is to talk to the client's customers, the homeowners, the landowners. We are the face of the utility. They cannot be out here and cover the vast territory they have. And that goes both ways. We are the face of the utility for the customer, and then flip side around, for that customer, we are their contact person. A lot of times they have no one. They pay their electricity bill to a giant utility, and that's it. We get to be the face for that utility, an actual person who they can call, speak to. You go out and visit them, resolve any issues. That helps everybody. The great thing about us is that we aren't linemen. We come from an environmental side. With that, we can explain to the client's customers about the tree or shrub that is or isn't causing a problem with logic and a true explanation, not just we want it gone because it's in our way. We can go out and explain to them why. Since I've started working here, my perception of safety has honed in. It's become focused. Coming from a safety-oriented culture, not much changed, but I understand, I dare say I understand more now why we do what we do, why you need to be highly visible out there, why you have to wear your hard hat, why you have to have steel-toe boots. An expression that was said to me before was, you want to go home the same way you came in. My impression of the company's leadership team is that they are present, they are responsive. Anytime I've reached out to them, I get a timely response.
The culture at ECI is very team-oriented. I never feel like I have to tackle a project that I'm not completely sure about how to do by myself. Working with people like Josh has been great because the team leaders are very lead from the front. They give you somebody to model yourself after. First and foremost, safety-oriented. With things like the daily emails about safety, detail-oriented safety things, bringing up like slips, trips, and falls. That's, you don't necessarily think about the way that you walk every day, but when you get an email about something like that, you're like, oh, am I being safe when I'm walking down, rocky road? Detail-oriented, thorough, power of example. And compassionate too. I've had a couple of health problems, the past year, and Josh has been so great to work with through that. Just very understanding of, if we want our employees to do the best job that they can, they need to be in the best health. The GPS that we have in our truck that monitors our speed, and the stickers that we have on the trucks, I really like, because it lets other people know that we're working.
It's been only a handful of experiences working with the leadership team. When I first was hired, Josh came out to meet me, to get me acclimated. We met with the utility that I'm contracting with, and that was a really great experience. It definitely made it easier to acclimate. And Todd flew all the way out here for a safety meeting. We went out in the field. We met in the office too to go over things like that. Even just today, when I was out here with the lines, I can even remember the pole numbers. There was a poplar that I saw, and it definitely, could pose a risk, and try to get that taken care of actually even before scheduled maintenance. So ECI's vision definitely manifests in my daily job. I'm trying to be aware of everything around me, stay safe, be aware of any risks, and additionally be aware of the other people around me. If I notice something and I notice another person, I want to make sure that they, are aware of any situation. So my position with ECI allows me to be a steward of the environment in a few different ways. Aside from the basic, it allows me to be outdoors and take in my surroundings. I can see what's going on with changes in the trees, changes in the environment on a local scale. I'm aware of any disruptions in the area. For example, if like a microburst comes in, or we had a tornado like a couple months ago and that disrupted things, and I can alert someone if there's going to be something that impacts their life.
My favorite customer win story, I worked here in Colorado. We kept on getting refusal after refusal, and at the last minute, we were allowed to enter onto their property. When we got access to the property, it was one of the most gorgeous properties I had ever seen. The work that was done on it, we had to do pretty extensive work. When all the work was done, we went back out there. The guys had done such a great job at doing the cuts that you didn't really notice any change to the property. It was still just as beautiful as it was when we first showed up. I think that's something that is overlooked a lot in what we do, because we're known as just a bunch of tree butchers when they come in. And I think it's great that we can still maintain the aesthetic values to these properties, both before we go in and after, but knowing that we made it a lot safer for those people to still live there, and that they're not going to lose power, they're not going to have issues with the power lines from a tree falling on them. The value that resonates the most with me is trust. In this business, you work a lot by yourself. We try and build with the homeowners that we work with, the power companies that we're contracted to, is that they can trust us. And property owners trust that we're going to do what we say.